Welcome you all. We are continuing our conversation on types of television interview. In previous segment, we were discussing about crisis interview, and I talked about how you get prepared in a war zone or a crisis and conflict zone, how you get prepared when an accident happens, how you get prepared a fire happens. There are few more things which one should take in mind while doing an interview in a war zone or a crisis zone. That is that to follow that particular country's national security guidelines, because countries believe in contemporary time, where there is a problem of terrorism, where there is a problem of conflict, where there is a problem of war, countries are very cautious about national security. So as a media person, when you are doing an interview in a crisis zone, in a war zone, at a place where an accident has happened, where a fire has broken out, you need to follow all the national security guidelines, which is available to in each newspaper house or a television channel. Second thing is safety, I told you. Third thing is, your motive should not be only to interview that person. Suppose you are going to interview a person who has just been traumatized due to a fire in his house. First thing is, talk to their family members, normalize them. It's not like that you have a crew in a big car, your crew is reaching to the house of a person whose house is burnt off, and you are all of a sudden fixing your camera and asking grilling questions to that person. No, it will rather more traumatize to that person. This is one thing which you keep in mind as a television personnel. And also remember how a person to whom you are going to interview will feel when that interview will be broadcasted on television. Sometimes what happens, camera does not give you any signal. I am speaking to you, camera is on, but I don't realize, I cannot figure it out whether camera is on or camera is off. So what happens, an untrained person, a normal person, I will not say an untrained person, a normal person speaks whatever he feels like. But then there are ethical guidelines. It does not mean you broadcast whatever he's saying. There may be something which he is speaking out of sheer emotions. So that does not mean that you broadcast that thing also. So two things. Number one, when you reach at venue to interview person in a conflict zone or in an accident place or a place of fire, you don't start all of a sudden asking grilling questions. Normalize the atmosphere. People who are around that person, it's obvious if you are interviewing in a crisis zone, you will not interview in a 5-star luxury hotel or a suite or a penthouse. All right. You will be interviewing where there will be numerous other kind of people. First, you don't impose yourself that you are a big journalist, you are going to ask grilling questions and making a story out of it. That is the most traumatized, dangerous thing a journalist commit in a normal life. Impose yourself as a normal person who is your sympathizer, who is like you, is another human being, and is just going to portray your voice, who is just going, you stand a platform on television by allowing him to speak or put forward his or her stand. That should be your motive. First thing, you normalize the atmosphere. Second thing, if you have something to offer him, like water bottle, sometimes you are in a situation, suppose an incident took place a day back in India where 2 infants were brutally killed in a neighboring district near Delhi. You reach to interview the father of the 2 brutally killed infants, and you don't start asking questions straightforward. You offer some water, you normalize that person, you offer some consolation, and then you slowly ask how he is feeling, what is his reaction, what he feels, how government should react to that situation. That is how you proceed in a crisis and conflict type of interviews. Same is applied when you are interviewing a person in war zone. Military people are fighting war. Suppose you are in Afghanistan. You are going to interview a peacekeeping army an army person who is part of peacekeeping mission. You know, they are fighting a big war there for decades. You don't asking unnecessary questions which are not relevant and creating a situation where army person also feels uncomfortable and is unable to answer all of your questions. That is how you proceed. Then comes general interviews. All right. What are general interviews? General interviews means any normal event, day-to-day happening. How general interview happens, that every night, every prime time, a journalist needs to broadcast some interviews, because the structure of a bulletin is like this, that in one segment you will talk to some person on some current issue and there are numerous normal stories which are developing in every day, and you can pick up that topic which is not so burning topic or burning issue, but reflecting a general opinion of a political leader or a film star. Suppose a movie is being released, it's doing well, you want to interview the director of that movie. It's normal, it's not something which is unexceptional or unconventional. So these are interviews which you do in a general situation, general location. It can be done on in a studio, or you can go to that director's house or the shooting place where you can interview that person. Then another type of interview is called ambush interview, which I will discuss in next segment. Thank you for being with me.